Yo, 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 what is good, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome back to Number G Takes. And man, we're going to go ahead and get straight into it, man. We got our picks for this week. I'm going to go ahead and do NFL and NCAA this week because I'm most likely going to have to work a little bit early on Saturday. So we're going to go ahead and start it off with the NFL. And we're going to start with tonight's game. So tonight's game, we got the Steelers versus the Bengals. Man, I think the Steelers have been looking really good this year. I don't think that they are probably going to slow down anytime soon. And I honestly think they might mess around and end up winning their division. So I got the Steelers winning versus the Bengals. We got the Eagles versus the Vikings. One second. We got the Eagles versus the Vikings, and I got the Eagles with the comeback win. I picked the Eagles 2 times back to back, and they done lost 2 times back to back. I don't think they gonna do me like that. I I just think they just need to get back to what they were doing before. I think they try and get too cute now, trying to go away from what they you know were doing. Honestly and truly, just get back to what you were doing, big dog, and get back to winning. You know, and by big dog I mean Jalen Hurts. But I got the Eagles. 49ers versus Atlanta. I got Atlanta because I believe they have injuries with the 49ers. I think the 49ers got a few injuries that will give Atlanta a benefit. I also think that we also have some injuries, so this one's kind of skeptical, but I'm gonna go with Atlanta for right now because I'm hoping that Bijan can kind of make some shake and end up kind of being in that MVP kind of running this year, which I definitely think that he possibly could be in the running for. That brother been balling for the past, honestly, the whole season. So it ain't been his fault why we losing. I got the Rams versus the Jaguars. I got the Rams. Matt Stafford. You know, I think Matt Stafford and that team just are better put together for right now. The Raiders versus the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs. I think that Patrick Mahomes has been putting these wins together. You know, he finna have some of his pieces back out. I think that was last week was the sixth game, so he finna have some of his pieces back for this game. So I definitely think that the Chiefs are going to go ahead and pull this one out. But I definitely think the Raiders definitely need to go ahead and look at getting a quarterback because I don't think that their quarterback situation is going to be holding them back. And unless they address that, they're going to be stuck in purgatory. And like I said, they really need to go ahead and make that trade. Go ahead and go get Shador and be done with that situation. You know what I mean? The Dolphins versus the Browns. I got the Dolphins. I think Tua gonna go ahead and get a nice little dub and try and see if he can ramp up for the rest of the year. It's kind of sad to see what that that quarterback and head coach duo is looking like at this point in time. Cause I definitely think that Miami's calling for their head at this point, which at is rightfully so because they 1-5. But yeah, I definitely think Tua should have been better than what he has been. You know what I mean? So the Patriots have been looking really good. The Patriots versus the Titans. I got the Patriots winning. I wasn't expecting the Patriots to be looking this good. I don't think anybody was expecting the Patriots to look this good. I don't think a lot of the teams this year are teams that we thought were gonna be bad, and a lot of them are looking kind of decent. You know what I mean? And like I said, the Patriots are one of them. The Falcons are one of them. Who would have thought that the Falcons would have went out there and actually put a scheme together to get a dub against the Bills? Like, you know, I feel like it's anybody's game at this point. You better come with your A game or you can end up losing. I got the Patriots though. The Panthers versus the Jets. I got the Panthers. They're gonna go ahead and get that win. I don't know. Like I said, it's not Jaden. I don't think it's Justin's fault, but they definitely gonna have to fix that quarterback situation and or put some pieces around them. And I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I hate that Justin has been in this limbo. You know what I mean? But I guess that's just how the NFL goes sometimes for some quarterbacks. The Saints versus the Bears. I got the Bears. it's sad because I definitely think that Spencer Rattler is definitely a decent quarterback in the league right now. But even with him, people are gonna be trying to come for his head in this next draft, and they're gonna be trying to draft a quarterback most likely. When honestly and truly, I think he's probably the bright spot on that team. But I definitely got the Bears for that one. The Colts have been looking really good this year. Who would have thought again? Who would have thought that the Colts out of all teams would be 5-1 right now? Daniel Jones went out there and stole that man job, and didn't even steal it. He really just went in there, walked in, said, "Hello, how are you?" And they just handed him the job. And they just handed him the job, and he done been rolling ever since. But the Chargers are at home, so I'm gonna go with Jay Herb and think that I'm hoping that Jay Herb can pick it back up on how he was doing, because I don't need him to slow it back down. Because again, that division is wide open. This could be his year. This could definitely be his year. We got the Broncos versus the Giants. I got the Broncos. I think Bo Nix is definitely going to go ahead and put belt to it. I think he's going, especially with them at home, I think he's going to be trying to put some points on the board. I don't think they've really been scoring like how he thought they'd be scoring this year. Yeah, they ain't been scoring like how he thought they was going to be scoring this year. So, I'm pretty sure he's tired of winning these defensive games. I think he's ready to go ahead and put some points on the board. And I think that would be a good game to kind of see what he could do. But I definitely think it's going to be a pretty good game because that boy Scatterboo going to always keep them in the game. I definitely feel like when you got an energy bunny like that on your team, it's always a maybe, a might. The Packers versus the Cardinals. I got the Packers strictly because of the defense. Commanders versus the Cowboys. This is hard. I ain't gonna lie. A shootout, basically. That's all that this is. This is a straight shootout. I'm gonna go Jaden Daniels strictly because I just think that the young buck gonna probably show out just a little bit more. But I would not be surprised if Dak go ahead and handle business that day. I would not be surprised if Dak handle business. Buccaneers versus the Lions. I got the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are the sleeper team in the NFC this year, so I'm gonna go with them. If me picking them, I really want to see what they're gonna look like, because at the end of the day, that right there is gonna show us if they can make it over the hump, if they can do it, if this is their year. You know what I mean? The Texans versus the Seahawks on Monday. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. So yeah, the Seahawks have been looking really good. I definitely think that they want to redeem themselves from that loss, and the Buccaneers are just trying to keep going. You know what I mean? But yeah, those are my picks for the NFL. If you have, some he say, she say, you think some ways, blah blah blah. Let me know, man. Let me hear what y'all got to say. But those are my picks for this week. I definitely think that this year's NFL has probably been the most interesting because not all the normal teams are really that, like all the normal teams aren't good that we've seen like the past like 2-3 years. You know what I mean? It's been some changes, some shakeup. It's been good, especially in college football, which we are now shifting over to. Man, did y'all see Indiana went out there and put belt to it on Oregon? I ain't saying they went out there and beat the brace off them folks for real, but man, who would have thought Indiana is number 3 in the country? Uh, if I would never this year, that wouldn't have been in my pick'ems. That wouldn't have been on it. That Indiana would be top 5. I thought they'd be top 10, not top 5. So who would have thought that James Franklin would have got fired? Penn State looking garbage, and them boys not finna make it to the playoffs, and they got their quarterback injured for the rest of the season. Who would have thought? This was their year. I told y'all in the beginning when I started this was their year, and they went out there and they have literally the bed, just straight shitted on it, for sure. But that's college football, man. It's been a great year, man. Miami is number 2, Miami. So y'all know my dad is having a great time this year. But we got Miami versus Louisville. I got Miami. We got Nebraska versus Minnesota. That's gonna be a really good game. But I have who is Minnesota's quarterback? I'm gonna go Nebraska because I don't know this quarterback like that. And yeah, I've seen what he can do against Ohio State. I'm not saying that Nebraska is Ohio State, but Nebraska at least got somewhat of a quarterback. You know what I mean? They got something going on over there. So, and man, do y'all see that they talking about Matt gonna go to Penn State? My thing is Nebraska is not finna let that man go nowhere, especially when they didn't threw him all that money. Now, what I will say is if Dylan go with him now, I can see that happening. I can see both of them going. If both of them go, then I can see that happening for sure. Ole Miss versus UGA. I got UGA. That was a really defensive game last week. I think all of these games are gonna be really scrappy. Now that I'm kind of understanding where Georgia is as a team, defense is just gonna be scrappy. And if we can't run the ball, we're not gonna win games. We were able to run the ball towards the end, but a lot of these teams they kind of getting away with a lot of things. I'm not gonna be biased or nothing like that, but at the end of the day, it's very interesting how the UGA games be going sometimes. Like I'd be like, dang, bro, like they really be out there playing like they in the freaking NFL sometimes, and they don't even be calling half that stuff in the NFL most of the time. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about on both sides, and I like when I mean like when people play Georgia, it's like that game they play both teams like they freaking in the NFL or something like that. Like, brother, relax, chill out. Y'all take y'all job too serious for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know. It just feel like that, but that's just me. But it's been interesting to see what Georgia has looked like this year, with it having such a different looking offense, a whole bunch of different pieces on defense. These young guys, they just showing you that they very scrappy. What I will say is I just wish that they would get Zachariah the ball more. Um, Zachariah, Noah Thomas. Why go get these guys if you're not gonna get them the ball? That's just me. Now, I'm not gonna sit right here and make it seem like I want them to go somewhere, because I don't. I want y'all to be right where y'all at. Right where you at. All I'm saying is I want them to get y'all the ball more. That's it. But Ole Miss has looked really good. I like how their quarterback has looked. Especially the game against LSU. Kind of showed me a little something. He got some moxie in him. And I just hope that Georgia don't come out there. And again, it's like they got to get punched in the mouth a couple times before they decide that they want to start hitting back. If you want to get punched in the mouth one time, cool. Get your get back early in the game and stop scrapping like how you got to. You don't have to do that, bro. You don't. But if that's the way that y'all want to play it, then y'all do that. But I'm just saying, I don't think that's what you should do, because it's going to catch up to you at some point. But I think it's going to be a really good game. But I got Georgia. Vanderbilt versus LSU, another really good game. I think, especially with Vanderbilt being at home, they going to want some get back. Especially because of that Alabama loss, they want some get back. They want to show and prove that they are doing something, are trying to make some shape this year. So I definitely think if this is at home, this is gonna be my question mark of the NCAA this week, and I'm going Vanderbilt. I think that Diego gonna go out there and he gonna ball. I think he gonna do something crazy out there on this week for sure. Georgia Tech versus Duke. I got Georgia Tech. I'm just loving what they putting together this year, and I think that UGA game versus Georgia Tech, I think is at Georgia Tech this year. That's gonna be a tough game. That's gonna be a real tough game. Which honestly and truly, I think that's gonna be a defining game for both teams if they make it to the playoffs or not. To be honest, because both of us gonna be ranked, and we gonna probably be high, both teams. You know how that committee get it going. Now, if we both top 10 and we that game, then we both getting in. It don't matter, which is cool. I appreciate that. That's why I'm kind of like, come on, keep on winning at this point. Because if y'all lose, y'all gonna F some junk up for both of us. So keep on winning, please. We need both of us to be high. If that's the case, because if one of us lose, we still gonna have the only way for both of us to get in, since y'all butts want to keep winning, is if both of us high. So we need y'all to keep winning, darn it. But outside of that, I'm glad that they doing something down there in the ATL. I know they happy down there in downtown Atlanta, throwing parties and everything after they win. I know they is. Oklahoma versus South Carolina. I got Oklahoma. I could definitely see South Carolina pulling out a upset, but Mateer came back even from the surgery and he looked good to get a W. So I definitely think that if he could push through the pain last week, he could push through it this week. Ohio State versus Wisconsin. I got Ohio State. Indiana versus Michigan State. I got Indiana. Indiana look real good, man. If the offense could keep going, I think the defense could possibly keep them in games. I'm not saying that they gonna go to the championship or nothing like that, but I definitely think they can win a game or two in the playoffs. Texas A&M versus Arkansas. I got Texas A&M. Texas A&M has looked really good. Texas Tech, really good. Been looking really good. I got Texas Tech. I could definitely see Sam having him a hero moment, hero game, and pulling some out, but I'm not gonna call that yet. Mr. Party Man need to show up. Show up, Party Man. If you show up, Party Man, hey, I'm gonna be right there with you. But I ain't gonna be mad if because I'm gonna take Texas Tech. But I ain't gonna be mad if Arizona State end up winning. Because again, I love me some Sam Levitt now. That boy, he went from Michigan State, went down there to Arizona State. I'm turning up. I'm having a fun time. You understand me? I'm having me a great time. Memphis versus UAB. It's crazy that we finally getting the first one. Out of the many that's gonna probably be there, but Memphis is the first one out the bunch, out the small schools. We're gonna see if they end up making it to the playoffs, but I got Memphis on this one. Oregon versus Rutgers. Oregon's gonna have that comeback win. I think they're gonna take that one in the chin, and they're gonna try and make a nice little comeback. I don't know if they're gonna end up being in the Big Ten championship, but I still think they'll end up making it in the playoffs. Virginia versus Washington State. I got Virginia. Shout out to my boy Stevie. All them boys, they've been doing their thing, man. I like to see that Virginia has been, getting these W's this year. Because who would have thought? Who would have thought that Virginia? I didn't even know had the people that was on that team, but they didn't put some things together, some scrappy wins, and at the end of the day, they showing you that they're a good team again. Because it's been a few good years since Virginia has been a good team in football, so it's good to see some fresh faces. Texas versus Kentucky. I got Texas. I got Texas. I like that Archie Manning went down there and, showed him a little moxie, showed him that he still got some in him. We beat up on these kids and these guys, these young men before they really show us that they can have they have like some adversity, you know what I'm saying? They have some I can go show you that I can, you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, we was talking bad on this guy, making it seem like he was, it was over for him. But sometimes you need some time to step into those shoes, and that's all he showed you, that he needed a little time, and that's okay because DJ Lagway needs some time. And if we calling DJ Lag, are we calling DJ Lagway a bum and a bust? No. We are literally, that man threw 3 picks last week, and people still think that brother down there in Florida gonna make some shake within these next 2 years. They down there have complete faith in University of Florida that DJ Lagway, and shoot, it's people around the country. Forget Florida. There's people around the country that still look at DJ Lagway and go, that brother at some point gonna make some shake. So let's just, pump the brakes. Let's see what the brother do. Let's see what he do. Alabama versus Tennessee. I'm gonna roll with Alabama, but I'm hoping Hapu got a little something up his sleeve, and he pulled that out. I ain't even talking about for us, cause I don't even want to go to the championship no more. Cause if we don't, that's the easiest way for us to get in playoffs. I don't even care no more about making it there. Get us in playoffs, and then we can go from there. But the only reason why is that would give that if Tennessee beat Bama, that would give us the one up that we would, you know what I'm saying, that we would need later on in the playoff race. That's what I'm saying. Georgia just need that one up, especially since we lost to them. So and we beat Tennessee, we just need that. You know what I mean? That just gives us a little bump. But I could definitely see Alabama go ahead and taking that W on home. Ty Simpson is actually being considered probably one of the top 20 picks next year. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye to see what he ends up doing for the rest of the year. USC versus Notre Dame. USC. I don't even understand how Notre Dame is ranked. And top 15 at that. Why are there undefeated teams that are ranked below Notre Dame? Why are there better there are better teams that have gotten better wins, top 25 wins, top 20 wins, top 15 wins that are behind Notre Dame? Why? Anyways, USC. South Florida versus FAU, South Florida. Missouri versus Auburn. I got Auburn. I ain't even gonna lie. I don't think Missouri is really a good team. Like, they really only show up never. They literally do not beat nobody. Like, every team that they go against that be good, they lose. I think Auburn can get a win at home for sure. BYU versus Utah. I got Utah. Going to BYU and putting that belt on them boys. I'm calling it right now. I'm hoping. Listen, pull something out your pocket, Matt. Ain't that man that name? Ain't his name Matt? The coach, the head coach. I can't remember your name off the top of my head, but I got you. I'm calling it Utah for the W. And then last but not least, I got Cincinnati versus Oklahoma State. I got Cincinnati. Who would have thought Cincinnati would be ranked right now? But I guess they got a decent running back. They got Evan Pryor. I forgot about that. Yeah, that boy Evan Pryor out there balling. So yeah. It's sleeper teams out there, man. The college football is back. The old college football is back. I'm glad to see it, and I'm glad to be here, man. To go ahead, talk about this stuff, look at it, talk to you guys about it, and yeah, man. These my picks for this week. I'm I'm excited because college football is not college football, but the playoffs is right around the corner. You know what I mean? So we really finna get into the meat of these battles between a lot of these big schools and these big, top 25 teams, especially these top 10 teams. Yeah, they're gonna have to show you something now. But yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think, how y'all feel about the picks. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, let somebody know, man. And I appreciate y'all for coming through. Y'all have a great one. Number G takes. Peace.